What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I genuinely wish I didn't have to go ahead and put this video together here. Seriously, I don't want this to be the outcome of the Call of Duty franchise. But basically, what I was worried about is becoming a reality for Call of Duty, if you guys remember me saying. The main reason I'm a little salty about Black Ops 7 isn't because of the gameplay, the scenery, so on and so forth. Although I am very disappointed to hear that carry forward is coming, into Black Ops 7 when it comes down to the bundles. I don't mind double XP tokens and gobblegums. But when it comes down to Beavis and Butthead coming into BO7, I think that's a bit too far, so I don't like that. But, everything else when it comes down to the game, it doesn't look like it's awful. I mean, it looks like COD, so nothing really, massively innovative. But it doesn't look like the end of the world. But my biggest concern is the fact that this is all for show. I've mentioned it a bunch of different times before, how Vanguard was stuffed with content, although it was considered DLC. And then we got another full-fledged out game, according to Activision, that was Modern Warfare 2 2022, that had nothing, bare bones. Then we get the next DLC, Modern Warfare 3, which, again, was stuffed with content and all the changes that the community asked for. And then comes BO6, which is the game that was apparently, according to Activision, the game that had 4 years of development, It was going to be absolutely massive, has no content, no post-launch support. I mean, literally, the meta in BO6 wasn't even resolved until 3 to 4 seasons deep into the game. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. The meta was not resolved in BO6 for 3 to 4 seasons. You see, people get mad that a lot of the time I play these Call of Duty games to critique them, but I wouldn't know that. I would have no clue if that was an issue. A lot of the times, in order to see how these Call of Duty games pan out, you got to go ahead and play them. Same thing with Modern Warfare 3. I would have never known that Sledgehammer were such amazing developers if I didn't play Modern Warfare 3 and see that they did indeed fix the meta within the first month, and all these different things were added into the game. But for the first time, I feel no drive in even bothering with seeing how the lifespan of BO7 is going to turn out, because as I stated, it seems like it's just a, again, marketing strategy for Activision to finesse the community. They don't want to push in this direction, ladies and gentlemen. They don't. The only reason we're getting a crap ton of content, the only reason we're getting a decent amount of communication when it comes to listening to fan feedback, the only reason any of this is happening is because, once again, BO7 is considered DLC to the overall community, and they want to make sure that this game sells. And then Modern Warfare 4 is going to come right back up again with the new enhanced engine, because for those who don't know, Infinity Ward works on the engine for all teams. So clearly with Modern Warfare 4, whatever the next Infinity Ward game is going to be called, that is when the biggest innovation is going to happen. The Activision is going to hype it all up, and then at the end of the day, it's going to go right back to what we've been getting with Modern Warfare 2 2022, Black Ops 6, no content, no support, so on and so forth, and once again, the community went ahead and got finessed. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see right here, this is from Reality UK, who is a leaker within the Call of Duty community, and it's been leaking for quite some time now. But, yeah, I don't even know if I want to, begin saying this, but let's just go ahead and do so, guys. Modern Warfare 4, in its current state, does have doors. And it doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. Not just that, but he also went ahead and said Modern Warfare 4 in its current state does have tax sprint on by default. Guys, I mean, as I stated, we can't have any consistency within this franchise, and that's what I've been telling you guys. It's one of the biggest reasons why I want to lay low on BO7, because I want them to prove to me that they understand what makes COD COD. I completely understand innovation, ladies and gentlemen. They need to innovate. You can't have a yearly, cycled COD if you're not going to change it up and make it different and, add in different aspects that will encourage people to hop back in. But ladies and gentlemen, these changes are not innovation. Innovation is like what Infinity Ward did with the perk system within Call of Duty Ghost, or how all the development studios went ahead and handled the streaks. After Call of Duty 4 and World at War, when they went from having only 3 streaks available to a whole catalog. Like, that is the innovation that we are talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Not adding in things that will completely kill the flow and the identity of what Call of Duty is all about. That is not innovation. Tax sprinting and doors are horrible mechanics added into the overall flow of Call of Duty. I mean, the best thing ever done was when Sledgehammer Games went ahead and allowed you to destroy the doors within Vanguard. And even better, current date with Black Ops 7, apparently, there's going to be no doors at all. How are they going to use that as a hype point to get people to come into Black Ops 7, and then they're going to completely change it around the year afterwards? Do you see what I'm saying here? All I want is a little bit of consistency. If they can prove to us that they understand the basics of a good COD game when it comes down to no doors, no tac sprint, having a good amount of content within every single Call of Duty game, not just one every other couple of years, no, every COD game should have a similar amount of content. Like, I honestly want to put the blame on the yearly cycle, and putting out a COD game every single year is probably the reason why it's so hard for them to go ahead and do so. But Microsoft is worth billions, okay? They have the budget to help their best franchise, one of their most popular franchises, stand on both of its legs and do something. Do something that the core audience has been begging for years. Yet they will not keep up that consistency. Reality UK even went a little bit further and said Modern Warfare 4 in its current state is just as terrible as Modern Warfare 2, provided it's still a year out. But yeah, LOL. By far the most stubborn developers known to mankind. I'll probably still end up leaking the game, but chances are this will be the first COD game I actually don't play in about a decade. That is bold, but sad at the same exact time. And I'll be honest with you guys, Modern Warfare 2 wasn't a completely bad title. It's so depressing because Infinity Ward is right there. If any development team understands the classic formula of COD, non-unlimited sprint, and I know that's an unpopular, take, not wanting, unlimited sprint, but that's OG classic COD, and it works because the maps were built around such a thing, right? So it didn't feel slow, it didn't feel clunky, it just forced pacing. It forced it, and if you wanted to run for a limited period of time, you put on marathon, lightweight to go a little bit quicker. There's alternatives. You could still have that play style, but it wasn't just given to you, right? And that helped. I know everybody wants to fight against it, but that helps tremendously with the pacing of a COD game. But all these core things between that, no tac sprint, and all of the above, like, I feel like Infinity Ward out of any team would probably push those boundaries, but they are straying away from classic COD, and they're going into tactical COD now. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the style of tactical, that's what OG COD is all about, right? That military vibe. But at the end of the day, it was always an arcade shooter. Modern Warfare 2 failed at that aspect because, again, they tried to tone down the movement, but instead of toning it down, they made it to where you're playing like Rainbow Six Siege, and you're literally ADS walking everywhere around the map because you're scared of being heard. You're scared of being destroyed because of that. And the map designs, don't even get me started on a lot of the Infinity Ward map designs, but still, the moral of the story is that Modern Warfare 2 was destroyed by a lot of different things, including the attachment system, where every attachment weighed down your gun significantly to the point where you literally could not run. Again, funniest part about it is I wouldn't know this knowledge if I didn't play Modern Warfare 2 2022. I wouldn't be able to tell you guys this. Just wanted to throw that out there again. But that was one of the biggest flaws of that game. Every attack, even a red dot, forced you to, ADS 50,000 years ahead of an enemy to make sure you're prepped and then walk everywhere while ADS'd. Because the second you put an attachment on your gun, it kills your, again, ADS speed and your sprint to fire speed, which is what COD is all about. Like I said, although back in the day, we didn't have tac sprint, we didn't have unlimited sprint, we didn't have all these things. It was slower technically, but it was still fast, it was snappy, it was reactive. That's what makes COD COD. That is what makes COD COD. So although Modern Warfare 2 wasn't completely bad, and the idea of slowing things down a bit, making it more classic, they destroyed it with other fundamentals. And if they are planning to do the same thing as they did with Modern Warfare 2, within Modern Warfare 4, I mean, what's the point? Like I said, we need some consistency here. We need some consistency. I know the dev teams are fighting with one another and they can never get on the same page and they all have to do something massively different. But at some point, they need to understand what makes COD COD and then work around it. If you guys don't remember, there was some leaks a little while ago that I think it was either Microsoft or Activision, someone put together a team, a small team of people who basically are making like the COD Bible. You know what I'm saying? They're making the foundation of what Call of Duty should be. And I remember making a video about that, saying how bad that was, and that's not a good idea because COD still needs to be able to branch out and be unique. But the more that I think about it, the more that I'm starting to believe that it is indeed a good idea, because these massive sways in bad innovation are horrible for, once again, the consistency of this game. And they shouldn't be doing that. They should have some sort of Bible that they will go based off of for everything related to COD. And if they want to branch out, they can branch out and make the game unique in its own way. But there should be things that are never touched upon. There are things that should just be fundamentals of Call of Duty for life. And if they start becoming stale, that's their fault for making the games every single year. But some things should not be changed. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why I feel like Activision and Microsoft are probably going to go ahead and finesse the community once again. I'm not saying Black Ops 7 is a bad game whatsoever. I don't think it is. Honestly, a lot of the things that they have been saying is not bad. A lot of the things they're saying is stuff that we have been asking for a long time. Obviously, some other aspects weren't that phenomenal. Some things could be questionable, but a lot of it is not bad. But we know what the future outlook of this game is going to be. We know that this is all just for show, and then the next handful of years are going to be a disaster. This company needs to bring consistency to the table when it comes to COD, or else I feel like more and more people are going to become frustrated with the franchise, and we'll never be able to see a return to its former glory. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post here daily at 8 morning Eastern Time, and sometimes we go ahead and double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between COD, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, and obviously any other first-person or third-person shooter that kind of sparks my interest, I'll go ahead and cover on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And funny enough, we are going to be doing an OG Call of Duty stream this Saturday. So if you want to go ahead and tune on in, find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.